What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about preparing for Gotham Knights and Warner Bros. Montreal to go very, very silent very, very soon. So I kind of want to go over what happens with these kind of games. We talked about it a little bit in the past, but I want to kind of go over what maybe we can expect to see or not see of this game over the next little while. Kind of go maybe over the roadmap of this game, okay? Really quickly, before I jump into that, I do want to promote our Discord server. If you guys haven't checked it out, the link for it will be in the description below. A lot of you guys have been joining it. It's been really, really awesome to see. We're really growing a really awesome community over there, doing a lot of different things. So again, if you guys haven't checked it out, the link for it will be down below. All right, so I know I made the ratings video on Friday where I was very, very positive, and this video, by the way, is not meant to be negative. It's not even necessarily meant to contradict it, because I do think you can have the best of both worlds. Like, this game can very easily come out January, February, March, same exact bubble that I've been saying literally for months now. It can do that, but it can also do what I'm going to say in this video, okay? One other thing I do want to say is I've seen a lot of talk about villains. I do want to talk about it. I know Degenerate J does those, the 5 lists. I do them too, but I'm going to probably hold off. I'm not going to necessarily do a listing of villains. I think my approach, kind of like how I did with Suicide Squad, is I want to talk about a specific villain for the game. So I want to do a specific video for Joker, for Riddler, for all these characters, and put them in the game. So if you guys want me to make a video about a specific villain in Gotham Knights, definitely let me know in the comments below, okay? Now, let's talk about this. So this is common with, I would say, every game in the history of ever. Every single game goes quiet at some point. Now, it really does depend on the length between announcement and when the game releases. Every game is different. Every situation is different. But what oftentimes you see, if you use a game that has a long, separation between its announcement and the release, they go quiet actually multiple times. It's actually something that we are not going to have the luxury, and that's sarcasm, because this is a good thing. We're not going to have to experience that, in my opinion, with Gotham Knights. Take, for example, really, in all honesty, any first-party game, a PlayStation exclusive, a Microsoft, even a Nintendo Switch exclusive, right? Any of those, but mainly PlayStation and Microsoft, they do it a little bit more often. You'll see that they announce it very, very early, and then they come out to play. These games come out to play. They'll show themselves at E3. They'll show themselves at these different things, but then they'll go dark for like a year. Yes, there'll be tidbits. There'll be, especially in the social media age, you'll get info from the game director or just somebody from the studio, right? That happens, but it doesn't happen all that often, and mainly they're pretty quiet, and then they'll come out and they'll show their thing at whenever, like a year after or 2 years after. Every so often they'll show it. There'll be another wave of interviews, and they'll go silent again. Even games that are short term, the best examples I have of that even are, look at the biggest games that are announced in short term. Yes, Warner Bros. Does it, but there's another company that does it too, and it's Rockstar. With Red Dead, with GTA, they do the same thing. Actually, the last couple times they've announced it around the May-June time, around E3 time, and the games will come out September, October-ish, okay? And in that time, they will be announced. They will have a little bit of press, right away, and then they will go silent for around a month to 2 months, and then around August, and this has happened with Red Dead, around, I believe it was late August, early September, the game came back out, and they started doing those developer diaries online, where they really started to show what you're going to be able to do in this game, all the different aspects, all that kind of stuff. And they did that around a month and a half before the game came out, but they also had around a 2-month break from when it was announced, okay? Now, this is common knowledge to some people. A lot of people, it's not, and I do want to make that kind of apparent to you guys and apparent to myself that, I talk about these stories. Not everybody knows about these stories, so I do want to, I do want to make that known. So for Gotham Knights, again, I look at it more like that situation rather than, again, a game that is coming out 3 years after it's announced. In fact, we have an example of both here, and the example of the other one is Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad is actually that Sony or Microsoft example. The Last of Us, think The Last of Us. That game's announced. Every 6 to 12 months, there's a new trailer, but really there's nothing much more. Neil Druckmann will say some stuff. Maybe you'll get some stuff from Ashley Johnson or like different actors. You know what I mean? You'll get some things, but mainly it's very, very quiet. But then every year or so, a Sony event, they'll show the game because you got to pump it up, and then it'll go dark again. And then look at when when the game was getting closer to come out. They had the media preview event, right, in LA where they had people go play like 3 hours of the game. So they'll do that. That's what they do. That's what I think Suicide Squad will do. Okay, I think Suicide Squad is that game where they normally don't do this, Warner Bros., where they normally don't announce the game and then it's not going to come out 2 years later, but that is the case here. So what's going to happen with Suicide Squad? Well, what I said, I don't think we're going to see that game until next summer at the earliest. I think if they do an E3 or they do another DC Fandom next year, whatever they end up doing, and gaming is included in that next year, I think that's when we'll see another trailer for Suicide Squad. But honestly, I think it'll go dark again. Now, Gotham Knights, the main topic of this video, obviously, this game is very different. And this game is more with Red Dead or GTA or other, you could even say, other Warner Bros. Games where we've already actually seen it. That's the thing, too. For those that maybe don't believe me, if you don't believe me, we're already seeing it over the last 2 weeks. The game was announced 2 weeks ago, a few days ago, right? Or actually, so 2 weeks and a couple days. And we got the trailer, we got the gameplay, and then that full week, the week right after, okay, a couple days after, we got interview after interview after, I mean, literally every day there were interviews, okay? This past week, we didn't get many. Now, Fleur Marty, she did some, basically in French, and you had to Google Translate it. She did some, I think she did maybe 2 or 3 max. We had the PlayStation blog on Friday, so we still got stuff, but it was considerably lower than the stuff we got the week before. And ultimately, you can only talk about the same thing over and over. I think if you look at it, like, yes, every interview you can maybe say, oh, I found something new, or I found maybe a slip up in what they said, where I can kind of figure out maybe they're hinting at this, or what I mean. There you could look at maybe hidden secrets, stuff like that. But for the most part, every one of these interviews, say there's 20 interviews in all, which there's probably a lot more than that, but a lot of it was recycled, and you can only ask the same question because they're only willing to talk about so much or so many specific things, and then they're going to go silent on the rest of it. So we're already seeing it. And then again, this past week, there wasn't that much. This upcoming week, I honestly think will be even less. I really, really do. So, in preparation for that, right, I think we should all just kind of be prepared. I don't really know where people's mindsets are on this game. I don't know if people are expecting to see stuff daily or weekly. And by the way, not my content, like literally from this game, like Warner Bros. Montreal, like saying stuff. I don't know where the general opinion is, but I do just want to make this video to kind of clear things up or get people ready for it, because that's what's going to happen. I really do think this game is going to be gone for a little while. Now, the release date matters, okay? So, and that's why I made the video talking about when is this game going to come out sooner? The rating thing, right? Which, again, has been very weird how they've done this rating thing, but the release date matters, because if the game is January, or if the game is, even February, March, you look at it, but each one of them is a month later, okay? And that would arguably mean that they would come out of the shadows, come out of hiding a month later because of that, okay? So if they release it in January, maybe they come out again in October. But if it's February, maybe it's November. You know what I mean? So something like that. Now, I don't know. I've always said February, March. I would really think that they're going to take around a month and a half to 2 months off. I really don't know if we'll see anything. But now, you could say there's the Batman anniversary, right, in October. They're going to do stuff for it. Not Warner Bros. Montreal, but like DC is going to do stuff for it. Maybe they do something, but I highly, highly doubt it. Maybe they do like another kind of teaser or like a small announcement. And that's the thing too, is now we're in this weird area where we don't really know what to expect from this next little while. Like when they do come back out, do they show us Red Hood and Nightwing? Like, do they show a gameplay? Do they announce like if they feel like news is dying off and they're not happy with that, do they announce the Joker? Do they say, hey, here's a side villain in the game? You know what I mean? And they can do that because they could we don't know how many side villains there are in this game. They hinted that there seems like there's an okay amount of them. By the way, doesn't sound like there's as many as I would want there to be, which we'll talk about in the future. But again, like say there's 5, 6, 7, 8, however many side villains you want to say. Well, we know one, but they could easily do another one. Again, they could show gameplay. There's obviously more trailers. Like they're going to show more trailers for it. They could have, technically they had a gameplay trailer, but it was more like a gameplay presentation. They could do a gameplay trailer, specifically like a 2-3 minute trailer. Obviously, there'll be like the release date trailer, stuff like that. They got, I would say, 3 to 4 more trailers coming up. They could even have one on villains. They could have like a villain trailer, which I think games have done that in the past. So there are a lot of things they could do. It's just we really don't know. And obviously, by the way, again, there's interviews, there's talks with the developers, and again, and as I've said multiple times, and was proven right over the past couple weeks, we did get way more from these interviews than we did with that reveal trailer and the gameplay. There's only so much you can take from those things. Yeah, there's things you can predict. There's worry signs. There's things that you can be very happy about. But at the end of the day, I think we all got a lot more out of those interviews from Game Informer, IGN, GameSpot, all of those. I think we got way more info from those than we did from those trailers. So over the next couple months, if we do see a trailer, like that's going to be fantastic. We also, I think, need to hear from them again, which I think is important. And it's also important to note how often do they feel they need to. I've said it multiple times. Some games are in that prove it mode. Some developers are in that prove it mode where they have to show more than they probably want to because, maybe public opinion isn't on their side. Maybe they've had a spotty record, which, by the way, Warner Bros. Montreal is like that. But the problem is with Gotham Knights, with a DC style game, they may feel very comfortable not giving much info at all. The way they're doing it, though, over this, this first little beginning period, I feel like it's what I said earlier. I think they're actually going to give us more than they probably would have if it was, I don't know, some other kind of game. Okay, so just so we all are aware, again, that's kind of just why I wanted to make this video. I don't think we're going to get a lot of info over the next couple weeks, specifically. I think definitely they're going to go silent over these next 2, 3, 4 weeks. I think it's possible in October they come back. Maybe, definitely, I would say maybe November or December. I think it's a whole lot more. I think it gets more likely with every month that passes. But I just kind of want to make this video to kind of go over my thought process with that. So guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Are you expecting the same thing? Are you expecting them to be silent? What are you expecting the next time we see the game? Again, I can make videos on that too. Are we going to see Red Hood and Nightwing gameplay? Are we going to see more villains? All that kind of stuff. And again, I will be talking about specific villains in this game as the days and weeks go on. This coverage, same as it's always going to be. I'm going to have a video every 2 to 3 days on this channel. We'll be doing more collaborations in the future as well. So lots of really exciting things here. Make sure you guys are subscribed, have the bell icon turned on, all of that good stuff. Leave in the comments any videos you want me to see. Obviously, I'll cover breaking news that's important. That's something that we haven't seen yet before. I'll obviously cover that on this channel whenever it happens. And in between that, we'll do what we always do, right? We'll have some fun. We'll do some different kinds of videos. And then, we'll just keep counting those days or crossing those days off, honestly, until the game comes out, okay? Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.